everybody. I'm Cindy Matalucci, your host of The Pulse and Live with Cindy. Today's Friday, March 8th. It's International Women's Day, and I couldn't be more excited about the topic that we have for you today and the powerhouse of female entrepreneurs that I have for you on the show. We know that building a successful brand online is something that everybody wants to learn about and how to monetize it, right? It's the question on everyone's lips. So today we have true experts that I'm welcoming that are in this field, and I'm honored to have them on our show today. So I have got Stephanie Nivinskus, the CEO of SizzleForce Marketing, which is a strategic copywriting agency. She's worked on copywriting campaigns from the NFL to Quicksilver to Starbucks. She's also the creator of SizzleForce Marketing Academy, which is a digital training platform for small business owners that want to learn how to master their own marketing. Stephanie, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me today.
I'm so excited to have you. Then we have Vivian Wagner with us today. She's an organic search expert who helps business owners and entrepreneurs create marketing strategies that save her clients time and money. As the founder and owner of Houndstooth Media Group, Vivian knows how to make Google happy and is a wealth of knowledge on everything from SEO to social media marketing to website development. She knows exactly how to help businesses build their online presence without spending thousands of dollars on paid traffic, which we are all excited about. Hi, Vivian.
Hi.
Thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
We're so excited to have you and get into this. And then I have Kat Sullivan with me today. She's the founder and the CEO of Marketing Solved and the creator of Tassi, which is an automated social software for small business owners. She's been recognized as the behind-the-scenes go-to marketing consultant for many top entrepreneurs, is known as the social media expert behind the experts, and has worked with Stedman Graham, professional athletes, an NBC television show, just to name a few. And she's worked and coached over 8,000 business owners with her social media marketing expertise. So I'm so honored to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
We can't wait. Okay, so without further ado, you guys, we also want to say we're really sad not to have Camilla Gornia on the show. She was going to be here. She was with Heart Behind Hustle, but she had a little medical emergency. So we're thinking of you. We hope that you're feeling better today, and hopefully we'll have you on the show. So we are going to dive into this topic. Okay, so I'm going to be moderating and I'm going to be driving the questions, and ultimately this will be a discussion today amongst us, amongst this group of powerful female entrepreneurs, but we also want to give you guys tips that you can take away for your business and learn how that you can work with these ladies in the future and really how to drive a successful brand online, because that's really what it's all about right now, and we want to help you elevate your business. So let's get started. Building an online brand. There's a lot of factors that go into this, right? It's not easy. It's something that you have to work on and you're constantly working on. But I really want to talk about clarifying your message across your brand, because I think that the message that you deliver is really important. So Stephanie, I want to start with you. How important is that, would you say?
Clarifying your message is everything, right? When you have a clear message, what happens is you start to build bridges between you and your ideal clients. You start to create an atmosphere of trust and confidence and credibility and all of the things that actually make somebody want to do business with you.
I love that. I think it's important because I think we get lost. There's a lot of noise, like you wrote in your book, right?
That's right.
There's a lot of noise out there, so really kind of standing out. So I love that. And then, I mean, what would you guys say about being a clear and concise message? I don't know, Vivian, what would your take on that be?
Absolutely. It needs to be clear, concise, and cohesive across, the copy on your website, the social media messages that you're putting out. It's vital.
Perfect. Anything to add, Kat?
Yeah, I think it's crucial. It's really the foundation that you build your brand on, right? It's being clear, talking to who it is that you want to work with or you want to help, and in your message, that's how you get that across.
I love that. Well, and I think that marketing strategy, right? So maybe we could start with you on this, Kat. Where do we start with our marketing strategy, and how do I get clear on that?
So I always say you start with your goal. Right? Everything needs to happen with your goal in mind, and then you kind of work backwards, because when you start with your goal, then you know exactly what you're trying to do, and so then you build a strategy behind, hitting those objectives and getting the things done that you want so that you can hit your goal. So marketing strategy 101 is know what your goal is and then work towards everything just comes in to support that.
And is that sort of like a core offer that you're offering? Would you sort of...
Yeah, exactly. Like, are you trying to build an online brand? Are you trying to sell products? Are you trying to sell services? Those would be the goal of having an online brand, right? And so then your actual marketing comes in to support that.
Okay, I love that. And then let's dive into some other things. I want to talk about social media with your brand, right? So while we have you, And I would like for you to all talk about social media, because we were all talking about how it's a love-hate kind of thing before we got started. That was behind the scenes. So when it comes to social media, and we're talking about this message, and social media itself, it's its own animal, how important is it, social media?
It's critical. It's non-negotiable, right? I mean, 10 years ago, it was like, maybe you need it, maybe you don't. Now it's imperative. You have to have it.
Well, and I feel like you can reach so many people. It's free marketing, right? You're tapping into this followers, the groups that you have, and you don't have to pay for that. It's very interesting. I mean, obviously we're going to get into like paid versus non-paid, but what would you say about social media, Vivian? What is it is there something about it that you love that's helped your business?
Well, sure. I love social media personally. I mean, I'm on it on all the platforms personally, but I'm definitely on for my business. But one of the things that people don't think about with regard to social media, that comes up in a Google search. If they're searching for you,
That's
they're
right.
searching for something that your brand offers, that's still showing up in your search. So why would you not be represented there? That's just crazy.
Well, and Stephanie, because I know that in your family, you came up with some pretty great slogans. I heard a rumor that Planters Peanuts or something, your grandfather possibly?
Well, that's the family legend. I'm not sure on that, but that's what I've been told since I was like 4.
Well, so, I mean, I think how important is that, especially with social media, coming up with a slogan, right? I mean, or something for your brand. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, having a slogan, there's a lot of ways that people do it. I like to actually connect the slogan, if you want to call it your tagline, with your brand promise. I like to group them all together so that you can have that one power statement that you can say over and over again that the marketplace then identifies with you. So, for example, if we go back to the 80s, okay, FedEx was when it absolutely positively has to get there overnight, right? You hear that now today, that's like, well, no, I wanted it, 10 minutes ago, not overnight, right? But in the 80s, that was absolutely revolutionary. And because they said that over and over and over again, here we are in 2019, I'm still repeating it, right? I mean, that slogan is probably close to 30 years old. Right? The power of being able to say something and deliver that value and have people know in an instant, right? In an instant, what they can expect from you is you cannot put a price tag on that.
And then hashtag that, right?
Of course.
I mean, that's the other thing I've been talking about with a lot of entrepreneurs, making sure that you're using that hashtag. And then I even heard rumors they might be trademarking hashtags. That's stuff that's coming up already.
Hashtag. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, how important that is hashtags when you're doing social media, right?
I mean, it's critical. The thing about hashtags are, and you have to use them on the appropriate channel, right? So one thing is hashtags. You would think Instagram, Twitter, those are the two that are primary for hashtags. But what's cool is, you can get found in search, again, we talk about search, using hashtags, right? It's like a keyword that represents your business or your brand. And so if you're not using them, you're losing an opportunity to match your audience. And if you are using them, you're doing it right.
And people are following the hashtags now too.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I follow a lot of hashtags, so I love that. Okay, so can we talk a little bit about content? Because I think that's really important, right? What to post and maybe even how often to post. Let's talk about that. I don't know, Vivian, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, so sort of riffing off of what Stephanie was talking about, content is crucial. And if you want to continue with that riff, that's how you're attracting the people you want to be working with. And it's through your content. So if your content says nothing about who you are, what you do, and who you want to be working with, you're just sending things out into the ether and hoping it comes back to you. It's not going to. You have to make sure that content's on point. So it's crucial.
We're targeting that message.
Yes.
With the content, Stephanie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that's so important with social media specifically, the word social is in it for a reason, right? And if you're going to be social with people, you're going to have your guard down a little bit. You're going to be a little bit more vulnerable. You're going to be a little bit more authentic and real about what's really happening in life, in your business, and whatnot. And I think we have a wonderful opportunity in the social sphere to let that side of ourselves be known, right? And attract real people that are attracted to real stories in real life.
I love that. And how often do you guys post? I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Oh, every day. At least once a day per platform.
Yep.
So that's important, right?
Yeah.
People
Oh,
think,
yeah.
And then the other thing I would say is I think that people get overwhelmed. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's like there's so many platforms, right? What is your advice? Is it pick your jam, pick the one that you love and really focus on that? Or do you think it's really important for them to be on every platform?
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't.
No, you go.
I don't think so. I think you need to fish where your fish are. So if we're going back to what Kat was saying about, okay, what's the end goal? Who do you want to be working with? Well, if the people you want to be working with are on LinkedIn, yeah, be on Instagram for fun for you, but nobody's going to make a business decision on Instagram if your audience is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's just,
So
you've got to figure it out.
Audience.
It always will come back to your audience.
What do you think about that?
Okay, so I know that I'm in the minority on this one, but I'm a firm believer that you need to be everywhere. So a lot of people will say, pick 1 or 2 platforms and focus your energy there, but I think that the wider you cast your net, the more fish you're going to get.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I
I
do
think you need to be
everything because I
everywhere.
feel like there's certain people that pick that platform. So I touch people on this platform because that's what they're always checking. I have
Right.
people that only message me on Snapchat, right? Not Snapchat's not for everyone.
No.
But it's like you have certain people, but then there's people on different platforms that always seem to message me. So I agree with you, but I do think for the people that are overwhelmed, it is good to know not to be overwhelmed, right? And that they can start
If
somewhere.
you have somebody who is in a business where they are like behind the scenes B2B, I think of it in terms of the people who are the decision makers for that business are in business mode on LinkedIn, but when they're on Instagram, it's me time. They're not thinking about work, they're scrolling for themselves. They're looking at cupcakes, not systems and processes on Instagram.
I like that. Well, let's talk about being an authority online, because I know that kind of comes up a lot. Remaining authentic, right? And the importance of that. How do you feel about that? Let's start with you, Stephanie.
I think authenticity is everything. Long before authenticity was trendy, it's very trendy now,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So it's honestly been a core value of mine since I was a child, right? I've always had this radar for inauthenticity, right? And you can sniff it out, right? You can sniff it out, and it's ugly and unattractive, right? And then when somebody is real and somebody just kind of lays the cards out on the table, right? Not that you need to air your skeletons in the closet, right? Not that, but being real about what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what went well, what was a complete mess up, right? That is so attractive to people because then you don't look like an expert that has a Midas touch that nobody else could ever come close to. You look like an expert that is able to position other people to be experts.
I like that. What do you think, Vivian?
Well, I think people don't connect with perfection. They might aspire to it, but they don't connect with it. They connect with people. And authenticity absolutely is bandied around a lot, but that doesn't make it any less true or important. So you have to.
Well, and I was going to say too, how do you guys feel about the paid, right, versus the non-paid when it's authentic? Is it organic? Is it non-organic? How do you feel about that when you're dealing with social media and just content in general?
Are you talking paid likes and followers?
Yeah, exactly.
I personally hate it. I hate it. Not only is it inauthentic, that's not a word. It's not authentic. And it throws off your metric. So if you're wanting to know how is my social media really going, you can't tell because you've paid for all of your followers and you've paid for that engagement. So you have no barometer to tell how am I actually doing and am I connecting with that audience?
And no ROI, right, on anything.
Not if you're buying likes. No
Right.
way.
Well, because I remember for a time people were like, oh, you can buy an Instagram handle and they already have 80,000 followers and things like that. And, that seems like a big no-no, but people are always asking, how does that work?
You can't cheat your way to building a brand.
It's hard work, people.
It is really hard work, but I think, we're talking about being authentic and authenticity, and that's relatable. People want to see you win, but they want to see you be real and follow you through that. And you just can't cheat your way. You have to do the work, you have to be committed, and that's when you start to see the results.
But do you have to boost, it would be my other question now,
Yes.
right? I mean, pay to play a little bit.
Definitely. If you
Because
want to
the
reach a wider
algorithms
audience,
are killing us, right?
Totally.
It's like the algorithms are changing all the time. So, I mean, I guess, but what would you tell clients? Is it that they don't have to spend a lot? They can still get, traffic to Instagram? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So primarily, especially when it comes to social media, it's really all about, doing a little bit of both. It's being organic, and then it's making sure that you're spreading that message to a new audience, which is how I recommend using paid advertising. I don't know what your thought is.
No, when you're buying likes and followers, you're actually violating most platforms' terms of service. So you're risking your account right there. You could potentially have your whole account you've been struggling to build deleted because you're in trouble. Paid advertising campaigns that are platform approved are very different than that. And yeah, I mean, there's a time and a place for a paid campaign, but your organic needs to be the foundation.
I like that. Okay, so let's talk about, since we're talking with you, Vivian, and you are that SEO expert, which I love, let's talk about your website and how important that is. Because I feel like it's almost like when you meet somebody, it's that first impression, right? Talk to us about how important it is to have a website, and let's talk a little bit about what you recommend with the website.
Sure, that's a lot.
I know.
So, well, first of all, it's vital that you have a website. It is the hub of your online presence. And even if your business is 100% referral and word of mouth, what do we do when we get a referral? We Google them. We want to see what they have going on. So you want to make sure that Google knows who you are, what you do, and who you want to be working with. And when you have that kind of content on your site, again, back to copywriting, you're doing what you can do to position yourself so when your ideal client has a problem, because that's what we do, we type our problems into Google, or go, hey Siri, whatever, you want to be the answer to the problem. You want to be, the answer to the question, the solution to the problem. That's what you want to be. And if you don't have your website, you're not going to capture that.
Plus, I know a lot of you guys do blogs and posts on the blog, which I think is great, and that's something that's transferred out. That's content, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk about organic versus paid search.
So
can we just touch on that? Because I know people have a lot of questions on that.
Absolutely. Organic is setting the foundation, have the website optimized for SEO, have good content on it. But the analogy I always use is if your kitchen is in the middle of a remodel and it's full of drywall dust and painter's tape and those orange Home Depot buckets, is that the time to pay for a caterer and send out fancy invitations and invite people over to your house? No. Clean up the kitchen, make sure everything's in place, and then your paid dollar goes farther.
Okay, great. Well, okay, so how hard is it? How long does it take to make a six-figure income online, would you say?
It depends. It depends on your commitment level.
Everyone's like, I want to do it now.
You can do it rapidly. I mean, honestly, we did it in about 12 months, a little bit under 12 months, but it's a lot of work, and you have to be really, really committed in the beginning and set up a solid foundation and know exactly what your plan is. What's your goal? How are you going to execute it? But it's absolutely possible. Oh, definitely.
Should you give yourself small goals to get to that goal?
Yeah, your goals are always going to change with business, with life, right? I mean, once you hit one goal, and that's what's great. Once you hit one goal, you're like, great. And then your goal immediately is 10x what your goal you just hit was. So yeah, goals are always changing.
I like that. Well, so what do you think about growing your list, right? Can we talk a little bit about this? And then I want to talk about video. Growing your list of opt-ins, right? Getting more people following you and viewing you. Let's talk a little bit about that. What do you guys recommend? Let's start with you, Stephanie, on a list and growing that to get people to, be your fan and your client.
Yeah, I think, we talk about the ethical bribe, right, is called a lead magnet, right? So somebody gives you their email address in exchange for something that you give them, some piece of education or a tool to help them win or something like that. And I'm a firm believer that when you are creating your lead magnet, you're really creating something outstanding that when they get it and they use it for the first time, they're wondering why you didn't charge for it, because it's that good, right? And if you over deliver from the very beginning, from that very first experience they have with you, that's only going to position you as, my word, what would I get from this woman if I paid her, if she's giving this away for free? So we make our lead magnets so valuable This isn't a, a 1 hour bust something out in Canva project,
Right.
right? This is like, no, I'm really going to share valuable stuff with you that's really going to help you get to a different level.
Well, and I feel like it's sales too, right? People forget when you're building your brand online, you need to be selling. And don't you think, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs that I talk about, they forget about that aspect of the selling and how important it is. I mean, in being authentic, but also, making sure that you're, if you're at an event, you're getting that person's email, you're giving them good content, you're providing them resources. I mean, how important is that, would you say, Vivian?
I think it's incredibly important to provide people with resources, because you want to be showing your value, but you also want to be encouraging a relationship. And if you're getting that email, you don't want to just email them once and have them go, spam, no thank you. You want to create something where you're providing value on the regular and that they're happy to stay on your list, because it's too easy to hit unsubscribe. Or worse, this is spam. They forget they subscribe. But yeah.
Do you guys recommend a specific platform or CRM? Is there a specific one that you use that you recommend?
I love ActiveCampaign,
Me
and
too.
actually, Kat is the one that turned
Did I
me
get you
on
onto
to
it? Yeah.
ActiveCampaign, and she
Yeah.
was right. ActiveCampaign is it.
It's got everything.
It's so good, and it's affordable for a small business owner.
All right, I'm going to have to listen to you guys, because we use MailChimp, but I have not yet tried ActiveCampaign. I'm going to look into it.
You'll love it.
Got-
You won't
Yeah.
turn
I
back.
want to do
Okay.
ActiveCampaign too. I use MailChimp, but I've heard really good things about
I have too.
ActiveCampaign. So now that you guys told me and you're the experts, I'm switching over. Okay, so I know we have a few more things. I want to ask you guys, because I think this is really important, the biggest obstacle to building an online brand and how you overcame it. And I know we talked about this, we're still kind of working on it. But let's start with you, Kat. What do you think the biggest obstacle is, and what happened? Is there something that happened with you that you overcame?
Yeah. So, the biggest obstacle, I think personally, is showing up every day, right? I mean, being super consistent, because life happens, right? I'm a mom. I have 3 small kids, and I get distracted, but I have to remember that it's so important for me to show up for my audience that I have to push myself. So the way that I essentially overcome it is, 1, incredible discipline, right? Just knowing it has to be done. And then 2, just being really passionate about it. Like, I love being online. I love those people. And when I don't show up, they message me. They're like, "Where are you okay? What's going on?" So you kind of have to. But for me, it's been really just being super consistent, showing up all the time.
So for me, my challenge is, it's a little bit of the cobbler's kid has no shoes. We're so focused on working with our clients and building their brands, we sometimes go, our own website needs a refresh. We need to build our own business right alongside. And when you're so client focused, it's easy to step back. So what we've been doing is working on scaling our team so that we can focus on the clients beautifully and take great care of them, but also have people in place that are, all they're doing is working on our brand.
I love that. Stephanie?
Yeah, I think mindset is huge for entrepreneurs. We tell ourselves all kinds of stories, and our stories can either be really empowering and help us put the metal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal.
We're coming up with
Whichever
all
it
kinds
is,
of
I know.
right? The messages can either be very empowering for us and help us move forward, or the messages can be very defeating and keep us stuck for a long, long time, right? And everyone around us can be saying, "You're so good at what you do. You're so awesome. You have so much to bring. Why are you stuck in your own way?" And it's so important to be aware of our thinking. Because if you go back to cognitive psychology, right? How you think affects how you feel, affects how you behave, right? So the biggest obstacle is having that negative mindset and those negative thoughts. So you have to really train yourself. What am I going to allow to run through my mind?
And I think don't be so tough on yourself, right?
Totally.
I think that's the other thing now with social media and everything that's out there, everything looks so perfect. Everyone lives this perfect life. Not really. Let's unfilter it, because we know that being an entrepreneur, building a brand online, there's a lot of times where, you're on the floor and you have to pick yourself up. So it's not easy, but just not being so tough on yourself. I think that would be something that I would recommend, because I think there's a lot of burnout too and doubting, and I think you have to take time for yourself. But I want to celebrate you guys. It's International Women's Day. I'm so honored to have you guys on the show today. I also want to leave the viewers with a note that we obviously will have their website, their links, everything up to get a hold of these fabulous women. And we did have questions, so we'll be answering and getting some questions back to you. There'll be resources for you. So if you guys do have questions about building your brand or you want to work with these fabulous women, we will be giving you all that information. But before we go, I want you guys to give your websites to everybody so that everyone knows where to find you if they want to work with you. Kat, we'll start with you.
You can find me at marketingsolved.com, or you can just search Kat Sullivan and you'll find me.
Love it. Vivian?
Yeah, you can find us at houndstoothmediagroup.com.
Stephanie?
Yeah, we are at SizzleForce.com. Sizzle like bacon, force like may the force be with you.
I love that slogan.
I would like bacon to be with me.
Hashtag that. So thank you guys so much for being my guest today. It was wonderful, and I'm honored to be in your presence. I feel more powerful already. So I hope you guys take some tips into your day. Remember, I know building a brand is not easy. We're all doing it. We're working on it every day. We're working on ourselves, but we believe in you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, ladies, for being my guests.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. Bye.